Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know the Destiny uploads have been rather sparse recently. That's because I've been busy on my variety channel, pumping out like 3 to 5 videos a day. And now I have well over 30 Remnant 2 videos on that channel, and it's been an absolute riot. So thanks for letting me take a little Destiny hiatus, but I wanted to stay up to date with the latest Destiny news, and there's been some good stuff coming out, like the announcement that Keith David would take up the mantle as Zavala moving forward. But the PvP side of things, which is what I'm known for, and what people come to this channel for, is continuing to get absolutely pounded into the ground, unfortunately. And that has stirred up a rift between the community and the developers, so much so that it descended into countless threads of us versus you this past week online. So what happened? What's causing it? And how do we get back to having a healthy relationship between the PvP community and the developers of Destiny 2's Crucible experience? We'll be exploring that today. So let's establish a quick timeline here. So on August 3rd, earlier last week, we got a state of the game courtesy of Joe Blackburn, currently Destiny 2's game director. It was admittedly not the greatest piece of literature that we've seen from him. Historically, he's had a lot better news to share than what he did in that document. And Guardians of all passions, be it PvE, Gambit, PvP, all had plenty of concerns and worried feedback to offer after that piece dropped. But for members of the PvP community, it only served to solidify many assumptions, including the belief that the PvP team was a skeleton crew. See, in that post, Joe confirmed that investing in PvP means taking people off of PvE teams in order to make PvP development happen. In other words, there aren't people specifically designated to work on PvP content like maps and modes. They are borrowed from other departments. Joe explained that they simply don't have the bandwidth or the resources to make PvP development a priority or a regular ongoing thing that's happening at the studio. They borrowed some folks, whipped up a single new map, and sent them back to their primary projects. So what that means for the future is that there are most likely 0 new PvP maps currently in development. So we aren't like getting to a new cadence where PvP development is going to be a regular thing. We're going to continue at the pace that we've been at for years now, the one that people strongly dislike. Now, unfortunately, this did not go over too well, and for many players, it served as a tipping point in the scales. Content creator and PvP influencer Kuje decided to take to Twitter to invalidate and cast doubt on the many excuses that Bungie gave for the lack of PvP development. Now, let me preface this by saying that I've always liked Kuje. I think he's a very intelligent guy with historically well-supported and supplemented opinions and informed takes. And his post on Twitter was likely the result of frustration with the apparent negligence from the studio regarding PvP. And rightfully so, Kuje made sure to place the blame on the front office, the higher-ups, not the few people who are working on the Crucible team and putting their hearts and souls into it with the little resources and support that they're given. That's something that I always try to reiterate. I know for a fact that people working on PvP want desperately for it to succeed, but they also have to do what they're told and work with the budget and resources that they are allotted. But Kuje's post broke down the math on the size of the studio, the amount of money they're working with, and then connecting the dots to determine just how much Bungie actually cares about PvP. The culmination of that thread was this final statement. He says, "So when Bungie says that they don't have the resources to make PvP maps for Destiny 2, remember that the corporate suits decided that a mere 2.5% of the studio's devs and 0.08% of the money from the Sony acquisition each year is too much to allocate for a core mode of the game." Now, this thread most definitely sparked some passionate responses from developers, not only from Bungie, but also from the other corners of the dev industry. And they all dogpiled to basically poke holes in Kuje's math and inform him that he's overlooking tons of key details in the process of development, including software engineers employed, art design folks, modeling, iterating, etc. The list goes on and on about what he didn't know about game dev. And with that exchange, we got even more developer versus gamer discourse, producer versus consumer dialogue, and the rift grows ever wider between the two in this game. Unfortunately, with every fallout like this, Bungie continues to turtle up and withdraw further into their own shell, distrusting of the community and how the community will treat them when they poke their heads out from time to time. It also creates contempt, which unfortunately does nothing for their motivations to rectify the PvP situation with Destiny 2. Ultimately, while Kuje's post may have been presumptuous in some regards, the heart of his post is the disbelief that Bungie is actually allocating their resources in a manner that communicates that they value PvP in Destiny 2. If they did in fact value this core part of the game, that would be reflected in how much time and money they're willing to spend enhancing it and pleasing their consumers. And that, the heart of Kuje's post, is 100% accurate, even if his math and assumptions about the industry standards were off. But I want to know what you think. Do you believe that Bungie is being fair with the amount of investment they're giving PvP? I know that many of you believe that they are, and that PvE should remain the primary focus on top of the current seasonal model and making sure that it stays the same that it is right now, with a constant influx of seasonal activities and weapons and environments, and PvP should simply get whatever is left when all of that is done. Let me know what you think. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll head back into my Remnant Cave until Starfield launches in less than a month. Thanks as always for watching and supporting. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.